my loves. Welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I am Monica, the Kismet Chemist. If you are new to my channel, welcome to the family. I'm honored to have you. If you are returning, welcome back. I have missed you. All right, my loves. So we have this recording, oh my gosh, my words today have just been jumbled. This is the second time I've tried to film this intro. So today's reading is called Mining for Meaning. It's finding the blessing within the lesson. And there are two parts to this reading, and it is inspired by something that I channeled a couple of times. I want to say the first time I channeled this was my collaboration with Lexi the Leo in one of the piles. And then again, I had woken up, and I'm actually going to try and pull it up and see what the exact date of it was. Let's see, 11/18 of 2022. I'll show you guys, see if you can see the timestamp. At 1:08 in the morning, I literally woke up and all I could hear was the lesson is the blessing. And because of this, I got to thinking about my concept of the difference between diamonds and coal for lessons and blessings. So a lot of the time we've been taught that diamonds are coal that has been pressurized. But the truth is that they're very similar in composition, but different creations. So coal is found closer to the surface of the Earth's crust, whereas diamonds are found much deeper down. And because of this, I got to thinking about the fact that we can see the lesson, but sometimes we have to dig deeper down into the lessons in order to find the blessings. It's like going back down to the root of any issue, situation, anything like that we have in our life. We want to dig down deeply so that we can find what it is that is the truest diamond within the hard times of our lives. That's what this whole reading is about. Now, if you guys caught my collab with Ember, in the intro, I talk about the fact that throughout the month of December, we are working on closing certain chapters, certain cycles, because the end of any year, any calendar year, is the ending of something. Even if it's just, okay, we're closing out 2022 per calendar year. Without getting into the technicalities of the way that time works, no matter how we look at it, every calendar year marks a significant time period in our lives. We seek to be able to compartmentalize certain things. And it does truly help us on this journey. When we are able to see time as both linear as well as circular, it really does truly make life a lot easier to understand. So in that way, we're looking at learning how to close down certain aspects of our lives, of our journeys, of our lessons that we may have been struggling to close down throughout the month of December. Because of that, I'm going to also be offering Reiki channeling throughout these readings. So this is all stuff I've mentioned before. So as we get into this reading, there's two parts. We're going to be looking at the lesson, and then we're going to be finding the blessing. That's why we're mining for meaning. We're looking into, we're basically digging down so that we can see the situation as it was. And then we're going to dig down even deeper, and we're going to find that gem that is hidden underneath, that diamond that's been formed under the pressure of this lesson, this situation in your life. Hi, Willow. You want to come say hi? Come here, baby. All right, come on. They need to go outside. So without further ado, before I take them outside, we're going to go over the collective gem or rune that we're working with. It's actually, these are all symbols, Reiki symbols, and we are working with Daikomyo, which is the traditional Usui Reiki's master symbol. So this to me is saying that this is going to be a level of mastery that we have all earned in our life. Traditional Usui Reiki was the original Reiki that was channeled and brought forth into the world. And once that was brought forth into the world, it really did open a portal. It opened a doorway for a multitude of different Reiki practices and modalities to be ushered in to the collective. So once we mastered one area, one level, one section, we did open ourselves up to more. And Karuna Key Reiki is that next level, that second, that more. All right, guys, I'm going to let her out. Give me one moment. All right, my loves, I am back. So we have mastered a level of lessons here. And as we are closing out the year of 2022, the calendar Gregorian year of 2022, and while I 100% know that this is not the way that time actually works, I just feel like I need to specify that because on a spiritual level, we all know that time is more of like a Nautilus shell, or it's more like a spiral. Everything happens simultaneously. Sometimes connections are more powerful than other times. We don't need to get into that for these readings, but as it stands, I want you to look at the entirety of your life in this lifetime on a completely linear track right now. At the end of December, we are closing out 2022. We are closing out a huge phase, a huge cycle. This is the last year in many since 2008 that Pluto has been in solely Capricorn. That means that we are ushering in a year of transition. 2023, 2024, 2025, and 2026 are going to be massive years of transition. Just those alone, not to mention after that. But for the most part, we're entering into like a liminal phase in years. 2022 was this 6 year. It's all about balance, all about harmony, learning unconditional love. These are things that I've been teaching very much. Next year, we go into a 7 year. And that is about seeking, finding wisdom, going on that spiritual seeking path, digging deep, finding this exact energy, finding the blessing underneath the lessons. Because of that, Spirit came to me and really inspired me to do this reading to start that journey ahead of time. Get that journey kickstarted so you can see the lesson and the blessings so that moving forward, you have a set foundation for how to do this in the future as you go about your seeking. Remember that you are the masters of your destiny. You are the masters of your own healing. I am here to give you confirmation. I am here to give you a safe space to help you understand, to help you feel heard, to help you feel seen. But you're the one that has mastered these lessons. So if you feel called to more than one pile, please feel free to choose more than one pile because we learn a multitude of lessons in our lives and we get a multitude of blessings. I will be channeling Reiki throughout the entirety of this reading as well. So for pile 1, we have the card Past Life as well as the Kriya symbol. Pile 2, we have Courage, along with the Shanti symbol. Pile 3, we have the card Healer, along with the Hearth symbol. And pile 4, we have the card New Moon, along with the Halo symbol. So go ahead and I'm going to put on some music, get in touch with your intuition, talk to your guides and spirit, and allow yourselves to be led to the pile or piles that call to you the deepest. And I will see you at your piles. Hello, pile 1. If you chose the first card, the Past Life card, card number 14, as well as the Kriya symbol, this is your message about finding the blessing within the lesson. So as you guys can see, before we get into the original channeled energies, I do have two piles here. One of them is the Kipper cards. These are going to signify the lesson itself. And the tarot cards are going to be the blessing. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about the energy of the blending between the Kriya and the past life card. Now, I did want to preface this with a reminder that if you skip the introduction, I am channeling Reiki energy throughout this reading. So if you would like to accept the energy, all you have to do is set the intention to accept the energy throughout the course of the reading. That way you get both a reading as well as a healing session, and the energy will flow smoothly. Now, the purpose of the energy for your reading in particular is to help you bridge the gap between these two energies a little bit more fully. So before I pull any of the cards, I do want to talk about what the Kriya symbol means. And the Kriya symbol is, it's a double chokure. The chokure symbol is from the traditional Usui Reiki, which now you can see how you're bridging these two symbols together from the collective energy into your personal energy. So the chokure symbol is actually the power symbol. So to have two of them facing each other, this is about an inner to outer energy and an upper to lower energy, and a power, and not a power struggle, but a power surge. It's how to connect the powers of your internal world with your external world, as well as with your higher self and your self now in this incarnation. This is the same energy that we get on this channel a lot with as within, so without, as above, so below. When we pair this energy, this bringing power from multiple places or multiple formats together into one, when we do this, we pair it with the past life card, we start understanding the nature and the flow of energy throughout time. And if you skip my intro, I talk a lot about linear time versus my concept of time, which is like a nautilus shell. But with these pairings, it's about manifestation, especially when it comes to the Kriya symbol, which is literally the symbol of manifestation, but it's an as within, so without kind of manifestation. So it's knowing that your inner world is 100% aligned with your outer world. Now, you guys may have been finding, and I actually have like a range of years. So for some of you, it's been like 1 to 3 years. For others of you, it's been as many as 8 years. Because this is the card 14, I did get 2014 popping into my clairvoyance. And by the way, guys, this is my second time trying to film this file, which seems to be the norm for this reading because I struggled with the intro too. But some of you may have been working on this art of manifestation since 2014, mastering it, understanding it, adapting it, evolving it. And especially with this being the Kriya symbol, which is a symbol of grounding and the symbol of power and the symbol of manifestation, the power of manifestation. It's also the symbol of healing humanity. So when I first tapped into this energy, I did get this energy of learning how to manifest because of manifestations going awry. And I really hesitated the first time to even say the word awry. And the reason why is because I actually was brought to something that I experienced myself, in which I was trying to manifest moving into a new home, getting out of the house that I was living in after my first marriage fell apart. And as I was doing that, what ended up happening was I literally manifested an eviction. I did end up getting a much bigger home when, that I ended up having a couple of roommates in and whatnot. But the point is that I didn't have quite a grasp on how manifestation worked. And my life was kind of spinning out of control. So the situation in which I manifested moving somewhere different and starting a new life and starting a new journey or a new path within my life kind of went haywire in and of itself. When we pair the past life as well as the Kriya symbol, we can find ourselves in a place in which the energies from past life situations that are unresolved within this current existence, this current life, can actually create kind of haywire manifestations or manifestations that go awry. And this is something I feel very strongly that you're learning to understand. So there's this thing that I do along my journey where suddenly I will start feeling a specific way. And I won't be able to 100% explain why I feel the way that I do. I just know that this is something that I'm feeling, and I won't be able to identify it with anything that's going on in my life. These are the moments that I know it's time for me to go and do what's called a past life regression. When I go and do my past life regressions, in the way that I do it myself, I'm able to channel stories, messages, images, and understand what the lesson was during that life that I was meant to learn. And as I channel that, then I am able to find relief in the things that I'm feeling, just genuinely the things that I'm feeling. When that happens, a lot of my life tends to settle down. The thing about past lives is they actually occur simultaneously to where we're at. So if we're struggling with past life concerns, past life issues, the likelihood is that we have just surpassed a time in the kind of spiral of time of our lives, of our soul's journey, in which one part of our soul from a past life, quote unquote past life, has passed on, has crossed over to the other side, to the spiritual realm. And it is in that moment that we are able to access the memories, the wisdom, the knowledge, and the lessons of that soul incarnation. In your case, you're now learning how to take a lot of gifts from past lives and use them to manifest a more healthy, down-to-earth, spiritual power within yourself. It's kind of like, this is so strange. It's like thinking about Superman is what I'm seeing. So please forgive me because I'm not up on my superhero stories. But as far as I know, Superman came from another planet. And it's kind of like you're learning how to be a modern day Superman in your own life. You're learning how to do things that other people would say defy odds, but you don't really, I just heard, don't pander to odds. You just know yourself well enough that you know you can do these things. You're learning how to harness a lot of things from past lives and a lot of spiritual awareness and spiritual abilities, and learning how to ground that deeply into yourself, into your life, and into your purpose so that you can help become a healer for humanity. Now, this takes a lot of risk. It is quite a risky path to take because we never know whether what we're taking from a past life is the totality of what we are meant to take. And in doing so, we really have to learn how to 100% trust what we contain within ourselves, trust our destined path, trust our divine plan, trust the wisdom that we have within ourselves, and trust ourselves to be able to access all of these things from a clear conscience and a clear mind or mental state. Now, when we do this, we're able to better harness all of the energies that we're meant to. Some of you alternately, I just came in, you may be very gifted, very, very skilled at past life healing or manifesting wisdom from your past lives without having to access kind of the painful moments. So this is kind of a split pile where some of you have really been diligently doing this for a very long time. And others of you are starting to get a handle on just traditional, like classic ways of handling past lives. That could be through tarot readings, through past life regression, anything of that sort is considered traditional. Now, when you can, I'd actually say something like lucid dreaming or astral projecting yourself, or even remote viewing a past life. Those kind of things are more of the advanced or more modern ways of healing past lives. And I mention those things because I do get the energy of some of you actually remote viewing past lives, which is really cool. I would love to remote view. But I'm just kind of seeing somebody doing that in my clairvoyance here. So that may be something that some of you have discovered within yourself, and you're learning how to really harness that power and ground that power into your physical being right now and your conscious mind. So let's figure out what the lesson that you are closing out has to do with. And this is kind of what you're mastering at this point in order to move forward. We're going to see the lesson first, and then we'll look at the blessing. So we have the rose thread, inner call, soul led, the mystic, live courageously. 6, up from the depths, releasing difficulty. I love that. This is amazing. We have 9, power and volcano. See that power energy. If this is, this one doesn't have a number, but I was like, if this is the card number 3, then you guys definitely have ties to Nikola Tesla, but you probably do anyway. And then we have patience. Okay, so that's what's really weird is I'm looking at this volcanoes card. Are some of you from Hawaii or tied to Hawaii? I know that is it Mauna Loa? The volcano just erupted for the first time since 1984, and it just came up on on my Weather Channel app, which is really funny. But what I'm seeing here is you guys have a lot of power within you. Okay, and with that level of power, you have to understand the nature of it, because a volcano is an incredibly powerful source. A volcano literally can create land in this world. When it rises up, when it erupts, it can literally create new lands, new islands, things like that. When you think about Hawaii, it's island based because of volcanoes. So to be able to hold a power of that magnitude within yourself, it takes you knowing certain aspects of who you are. Now, that journey is one that requires a lot of patience and volcanoes. Whereas a volcano, like once it erupts, it's not like the lava moves tremendously quickly. But it does take a lot of patience, not to mention the fact that if you think about the fact that Mauna Loa really came up really prominently for me before your reading, that volcano didn't erupt. The last time it erupted was, I think, 1984 is what they said. So there's a huge duration of time. Like, that's a really, really long time. That's what, 38 years in between eruptions. So that takes a lot of patience to be able to show that level of power. And I'm not saying it's taken you guys 38 years. However, we did get 1 to 3, and then we did get 8 years. So, I mean, we've got a 3 and an 8 there. That's pretty crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay. If I keep doing this, I'm going to be like brought down a math train, and we don't need that. So this is about a powerful new beginning in your life. Now, again, I want to reiterate, because this seems to be going through the collective, this don't tell me anything about new beginnings and endings and whatever. I want to reiterate, the whole purpose of the readings that I'm doing through the month of December are because we are closing out a year, a calendar year. So no matter how you cut it, this entire energy of this month is going to be tied to endings and beginnings. It is how it is. But with this volcanoes, that's literally saying it's time for your power to literally erupt. You're coming up from the depths of these places, from these past life woundings, these past life lessons that you've had. What they're doing is they're helping you to move forward. It's like, a volcano erupts and it creates a lot of destruction, but afterwards then there is a lot to be said about what is left after that. It cleanses and cleans the land. It creates a new form of the land. It's really kind of crazy to think about in that sense, because it does. It creates a new land form, essentially. And from that, all of what this volcano kicks out, all of this magma, all of this, everything, it's all this stuff that it's been holding within. It's been holding and holding and holding it within, and then it just explodes. It literally releases the difficulty of holding it all within itself. I have such like empathy for volcanoes all of a sudden. Oh my goodness. This, like, your soul may be deeply tied to the goddess Pele as well. Um, you may have just recently watched Moana. That may be something, or you may not have ever watched it before, but have been called to it multiple times. Now, this inner call, the soul-led, the mystic, living courageously, what I'm getting here is there has been a lot within you that has needed to be released, that has needed to be healed, needed to be let go of in order for you to create a new form of yourself. Essentially, you think about the volcano and the new landform. Your biggest lesson is that it's safe for you to let go of certain things. It's safe for you to let your truest self shine. It's safe for you to take a patient and diligent path forward. And it's safe to allow for your actual truest nature, truest power, truest essence that you felt internally to be expressed in your outside world. Now, you may have found that other people really rejected that part of you. We've got 22 with official person. Okay. So definitely has something to do with someone else. Family room. Okay. So this feels like it may tie back further in your life. Community. Yeah. I'm getting this energy here with these three cards. I'm getting this energy of someone in your past, and this may be your past in this life or your past in another life. For some of you, it's in another life, circa 1900s, some of you 1920s. Someone in your family who held an official position within your community. I'm just letting these messages come through because it's kind of choppy energy. It's very interesting. So I'm getting this energy of someone from your family who was a leader within the community. Yeah, I saw that and I was going to say it and then I didn't. And this person, whoever this person was in your past life, whoever this person was, when I see the gift card, I literally am feeling this energy of your spiritual gifts. This person did not enjoy your gifts. They didn't appreciate your gifts or didn't approve of your gifts. And because of that, when you think about a volcano erupting, it has to hold so much in. You hold so much in. This is because at some point along your spiritual path, along your soul's path, your soul's journey, someone in your family who has high rank within the community. I'm actually getting like a judge or, whoa, I just heard judge, jury, and executioner. Wow. So I'm not necessarily saying that's who they were. I don't want to make those kind of suppositions. And Spirit's not really showing me that that's who they were. That's how it felt. It felt like every time you had to go and see this person, every time you had to go and talk to this person, you were literally walking to the gallows. It's kind of like this person just knew that you were gifted, but did not want you to use it for the right reasons. They wanted you to really like help them, but not help others. Help them, but not help yourself. So in this life, you may have found that you have come into contact with other people who have tried to control you. Narcissists, manipulators, just people with a dominance complex. That's people who really need to have dominance over another person in order to help them feel more secure. You may have found that you have been around people or in connections with people, whether that's friends or romantic, whether it's people within your family even, in which when you would explain your gifts, use your gifts, or even just start trying to open up your gifts, they would just really, really put the fear of God in you. And I know some of you may not like that terminology, but it's more about the phrasing than anything. And I have to say what comes through. So what I'm seeing in this life is this repetitive pattern of people controlling you and how you use your gifts, the ways in which you use your gifts, whether you're comfortable using your gifts, whether you feel as though you can use your gifts within a community, because it doesn't make you feel safe and welcome. It's like, am I ever going to find my soul family kind of energy? But you're afraid that if you find your soul family, then your gifts are either going to be harnessed for the wrong reasons, or they are going to be abused, used for someone else, used for someone who puts themselves into this official person role or this higher than thou role. So let's see how it ends up. Yeah, we have child. On the back of the deck, we have imprisonment. Gosh, what did I say? Judge, jury, and executioner. So this is something that is held deeply within your inner child energy. So as I'm seeing this here, the biggest lesson here is learning how to let your inner child out, letting your inner child's energy, power, potency, gifts out to play, letting yourself be free of the things that have occurred in the past and the people you were connected to in the past that may have made you feel as though you were a child, as though it was childish for you to engage in these gifts, as though you could not share who you truly were. That energy of like, now I'm getting that same analogy that I always get, that like emotional analogy where you can't express your emotions. Take that and apply it to spiritual gifts where you can't express your spiritual gifts. So your gifts are like a bottle of Coke, and you shove Mentos into this bottle of Coke, and then you screw the lid on. Regardless of any situation, that bottle is going to explode. Your inner child has that volcanic energy that I'm ready to explode outward. And you're learning how to temper that down. The lesson here is learning how to recognize when other people make you feel restrained, and whether they're making you feel restrained because you're afraid of opening yourself up, or because you have gone through this same pattern and you're interacting with people in the same pattern. It's about learning how to recognize the energy of connections and how to make sure that you know that you and your inner child are safe to express the gifts and the blessings that you have within yourself. So without further ado, let's clear this off and check out let's find out what your blessings are. So I'm going to leave the lessons out, and then we're going to find the blessings. So we have the fertile void, inner winter, rest, another patience, potency, and secret beginnings. I love that. And then we have 23, thought vibrations, resonant choices, signature signals. I promise you guys, I don't look at these. We have 3. There it is. There it is. Remember, I said the 3 card, you guys may be tied to Nikola Tesla because we've got 369 out here. We've got beginnings in East. So now we have 2 beginnings cards. And then we have freedom. Look at this. We've got one bird flying one direction with patience, and then this bird joining a whole group of other ones. This is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so really what I'm getting from this is the blessing is really about you understanding how fertile and how capable you are, how you have the ability to take a step back, to go within, to rest, to create, to step into the void and know that the void is nothing more or less than creativity. You have the ability to really trust yourself. More than anything, you hold the ability to find your freedom, to go through portals, to open doors, to begin anew based off of what is true to you. You don't have to worry about whether you're trusting the wrong people whether you're taking risks and risking everything in your life because you hold such a deep intelligence within yourself, you can start all over without ever having to tell anyone, and no one is going to be able to stop you because you have made it from the darkness directly into the light. And the way that you did that was literally by changing how you think about things. So the real blessing within all of this is you've learned how to free yourself from the past. You've learned how to not shove the Mentos in the Coke bottle, essentially. It's kind of like I'm seeing this little kid like, I wonder what would happen if I did this. And then she's like, maybe I shouldn't. And it's not gender specific because I know I said she, but they showed me a little girl because of the picture on the other card. So what I'm seeing here is the real blessing is that you know where to go. You have cleared your mind. You know what is resonant and what isn't. You know where to move. You know how to spark the fires within yourself and how to step through this void space into a completely new life. You know how to be patient, but you know how to be diligent. You know what freedom looks like. We've got the Page of Cups, see? And the Page of Cups is literally the card of like when pigs fly. You understand that nothing is impossible anymore because you carry the power of a volcano within you. And because of that, when you erupt, when you decide to release your gifts from within yourself out into the world, you literally open portals, create new lands, create new landscape, create something brand new. Just like when volcanoes rise out of the ocean and create islands, you create your own place here in the world. And you do that and you attract what is right for you, what is true to you, what is basically what is resonant with you based off of your own unique signature that attracts people who are on that vibration, on that frequency. That to you is your level of freedom. Freedom to you is finding your own family. We've got Four of Cups. You see, it's literally like the Page of Cups is offering the cup finally. You know what it's like to be down and out. You have felt it. You've gone through the transformation. We have death. We have the Eight of Swords. I love this. And then the Page of Swords. Do you see this? If you continue, it's like you went into your past. Oh my gosh, okay, the cards are literally telling the story. You went into your past lives because you knew there was something back there. Something within your past lives was exactly the mentality that you needed to get yourself out of this like sad and woeful energy within that Four of Cups. And I will always say the Four of Cups to me is like the saddest card in the deck. And that's because the Four of Cups is when you have worked so hard at those three cups and you know they're not right for you, they're not there for you, they're not, or they have fallen and spilled. You know that you can't keep going at these three cups because they're not right for you. So you go into your past and it's like your past self offers you that cup. And it's the cup of hopes, dreams, wishes, goals, the impossible made possible. That cup gets offered to you and you go initially into this state of death and rebirth. You know what has to fall away, but there's this time frame in which you feel trapped. It's that putting the lid on top of the Coke bottle energy with the Eight of Swords. But because you recognize that and you recognize that you're in a death cycle, now you can see the void space for what it is, a place to really step forward and harness all of the mentalities, the ideas, the notions, the freedom that you need. The Page of Swords is the grand detective. You know how to seek out truths and wisdom. And look at this. On the back of the deck, what you don't see for yourself right now in this blessing is that you have literally gone through the death of trapped mentality, trapped mindset, to let your inner child go out into the world and say, I wonder why. I wonder about this. I wonder about that. The blessing within this is freedom for your inner child. Freedom for your inner child that literally shoots you forward into just this mystical future. Because look at this Eight of Wands. It's literally all the wands are following the rainbow. And what happens when we follow the rainbow? We find the pot of gold at the bottom of the deck. We went from being imprisoned to the Eight of Wands and the Freedom card. That is the blessing within the lesson of holding everything in and allowing someone to control you. You learn that you are the one that has the power to free yourself. This is absolutely beautiful. For every risk you have taken, for every step that you have made in your life, you've literally moved yourself directly from a state of slow and steady into mass levels of freedom. And you freed your inner child. That is your blessing. And a free inner child is beautiful because an inner child can manifest from a pure state of being. This past life energy where you're learning to manifest in order to free yourself from a past life, to free yourself from those past life energies, it's beautiful because you literally have both directions and you know how to free yourself. No more sadness, no more stuck feeling. It's just freedom, just pure freedom. You have freed yourself because you have realized that you're the one that has the power, the mastery over your own plan, your own way forward. As within, so without. You've healed such a huge portion of your life. And truly, when you heal that portion of your life, you heal humanity. And you did it. You genuinely did it. And I am so, so proud of you. And so is Spirit and your guides. So pile one, this is all I'm seeing for you. But I just want to say congratulations and way to go. And I'm so proud and wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this has been absolutely amazing. I did not know how these readings were going to go, but I am so, so truly honored to have brought this reading forth. So for all of you, thank you for being here. I want to say thank you to your guides and mine for facilitating the connection between our energies. I want to say thank you so much, Spirit. Man, you know how much I've been struggling to connect lately and how worried I was about the state of my gifts. And as I sat down, I struggled with this reading because of my own personal self-doubt. And it was through your love that I was able to bring it forth. So I wanted to say thank you so much for giving me the courage to keep moving forward on this path. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. All right, pile one, I want to say thank you again so much for being here. Down in the description box, you're going to find links to my second channel, Rising Sign Messages, as well as to donate to my channel, book a personal reading, and for my author page on Amazon. So definitely check those links out. Let me know in the comment section below how this resonated, and I will see you at my next readings. I love you all. Bye. Check. Hello, pile two. If you chose the second card, the Courage card, as well as the symbol Shanti, this is your message for. Oh my goodness. Spirit, please help. Please. Hello, pile two. If you chose the second card, the Courage card, as well as the Shanti symbol, this is your message for mining for meaning, finding the blessing within the lesson. Now, I have tried to film this. This will be the fourth time I have tried to just at a bare minimum introduce your guys' pile. The Shanti symbol talks a lot about the past and letting the past go and healing from the past, finding peace, finding harmony. With all of that, it really does take a lot of courage. So I know I'm just kind of launching directly in without explaining much, but when I explain it, I get caught up in my words, I get tripped up, I second guess myself, and I haven't been that way in such a long time when I am doing these readings. So I'm guessing that this has something to do with the energy, especially considering I now have a lot of crown tingles and pressure in my crown. So this to me is talking about the courage that it has taken you to really let go of the past, to stop holding on to certain storylines that just don't suit who you are and the truth of yourself anymore. Now that we are a little bit more comfortable with each other's energy, or rather, now that I'm more comfortable with your energy, I did want to mention First of all, you may have been drawn to another pile. It's kind of like blaring through my awareness that you may have been drawn to another pile. If that's the case, please feel free to go and check that out. We go through many lessons. We are able to lay claim to many blessings. And for those of you who felt drawn to that other pile or the other piles, please feel free to go and check them out. Now, we do have 2 piles sitting here. We're going to be using the Kipper cards to discuss the lesson that you have been going through. And we are going to be looking at the tarot cards for the blessing. Now, the Courage card is the card number 37. It reduces to a 10. The 10 is quite a significant number because it is the closing of a chapter, the closing of a cycle, the closing of a turning of the wheel. It is the Wheel of Fortune card number. And so there's a lot of Jupiter energy here, Jupiter and Mercury. This is about the expansiveness of your own ability to communicate with the world. Whenever I see this particular Courage card, I think about Harry Potter. I can't help it. I'm a huge Harry Potter nerd. And, you know, when Harry Potter got struck by the killing curse from Voldemort, or rather, yeah, when it struck Harry Potter, it left a lightning bolt scar on his forehead. Every single day, Harry Potter walked around with a reminder of the most traumatic event in his life. Every day he walked around with a reminder of why he's famous. Every day he walked around with this reminder of who he is, what his power is, and what he's going to have to face in the future. Even in the times in which he didn't definitively know what it was he was going to face, he still walked around with a constant reminder. So to me, this feels a lot like you may have constant reminders. You may have, for instance, and this is no shade on my kids. My kids are a constant reminder of a time in my life in which I was married to their father. And it was a very difficult time. But we choose how this constant reminder impacts us. We can courageously face these constant reminders and be like, you know what? I'm going to find peace in this. I'm going to find harmony in this. When I look at my kids and they are that constant reminder for me of the time in which I was married to their father, I look at it like through all the trauma, through all the pain, through all the abuse, through all of the hardship, I got these amazing kids out of it. I got these amazing blessings out of it. And so I don't look at those hard times anymore. I focus more on the love and the support and the joy and those peace-filled moments of harmony within my family. I think about the ways in which, you know, Eliza and Cooper come on here and do readings and you guys all embrace them, and how none of us would have that opportunity were I to still be married to their father. So I look at things like that and I'm able to find greater peace internally. I'm able to heal that peace within myself. So you may have something that makes you feel like you are constantly reminded of something from the past, something that you're trying to let go, something that you're trying to move on from. And that's understandable. We all have some kind of constant reminder somewhere in our life. It just is. You know, I gave a child up for adoption when I was 17. He is literally like, he would be a walking reminder to himself of the fact that he is different from his parents. His dad is a redhead, his mom has dark brown hair, and he has blonde hair and blue-eyed. You know, like he's a personal constant reminder to himself that he was given up for adoption. And he could choose to have that be a negative thing, but he doesn't. He is a kind, empathetic, amazing young man. And his parents are incredibly proud of who he is, how loving, how kind, how giving he is to other people. He, in a big way, has inherited a lot from me. And it's wonderful for me to hear these things because I know that that's a beautiful thing for him to carry with him as a reminder of where he came from, even though he doesn't know. there are a multitude of things that we carry with us from the past that can actually give us courage, give us strength, give us resolve. The lightning bolt is the sign of Odin. It's the sign of Zeus. It's the sign of power, of strength. And when you see a lightning bolt that strikes the ground, it is a symbol of the might and the power of the divine. And when we're blessed to see something like that, that's the divine showing us what we contain within ourselves, because this world is a reflection of what we contain within ourselves. So it's important for you to remember that no matter how many times things are difficult in your life, no matter how many times you walk around and you're like, I have this constant reminder, you could even have a scar on your face, just like Harry Potter and his lightning bolt scar. You could even have something that specific going on in your life as a constant reminder of some hardship, but it's about how you perceive it that determines how you receive the blessings from it. So let's move into the lesson here. The lesson surrounding courage and finding peace and harmony with the past. So before we get into the Kipper cards, we're going to take a look at your oracle cards first. So we have held, sureness of the soil, unseen help, support, and community. Okay. 24 with balance, centered energy, and self-care. Oh, I see where this is going. Going forward. So that's where we're going. We're going forward. I love that the colorings of these two cards are pretty much exact. And they're two different decks made by two different creators. I love, love, love it. And then we have 7, darkness and moon. Okay, I'm actually being brought to a story on my journey to get here to this channel. So when I was coming to this channel, I was before I started it, or before I really got serious about it, because I started it and then I didn't do anything with it. I was in this community, I was in this group, and I thought I had all this support. But when I knew that I needed to step back and start taking care of myself, I got a lot of backlash for it. I got a lot of backlash for taking the time that I needed to do, because I had to do some very intense shadow work. I was literally living in the darkness at this time. Everything that I was doing was incredibly difficult, incredibly painful, incredibly illuminative. I mean, I think 150, 200 pages of handwritten shadow work notes, just because that's what I needed to do. But within this community, I got into this back and forth of them. The people that I was surrounded with were constantly pulling on me, needing me, asking questions, asking these things. And so I couldn't find balance. I couldn't find balance in how I needed to take care of myself and be a part of this community. And so it really prevented me from being able to move forward in an illuminated state. Everything felt quite dark. In all honesty, it felt all my emotions were dark. My mentality was dark. And it just felt like I was living in this space of darkness. And in order to go forward into what I needed to harness, what I needed to understand, what I needed to be aware of, I needed to find a better balance. I needed to find a different community. So the reason why this is being brought up is not necessarily that yours is the same story, but it's about the lesson that in order to be the leader of a community, you have to be centered, be grounded, be able to envision the path forward, even in the darkest of moments, and know without a doubt that you have more support and more guidance around you than what it seems. This is something that comes from the heart. It's knowing no matter what, that even if you have unseen help, that you are trying to expand yourself into a successful place, a successful energy, really, in healing your heart, in moving forward along your journey. No matter how dark it could seem, that you have all of this around you, and trusting that, knowing that you're safe to take care of yourself, knowing that you're safe to love yourself, knowing that you are 100% safe to begin that path that you want to begin, to have that courage to step forward in a balanced state and know that if you're someone like me who runs a community, who is the leader of a community, and as I perceive myself to be on this channel, then you know that it is something that takes a lot of equality and balance. You have to take care of yourself in order to come to the fullness of helping others. And it's okay for you to do that when you're in a state of healed. But the lesson that you're learning is that moving forward, you can move forward in this place of, I know what is right for me. I can do what I'm meant to do. I'm not at all surprised to see that. And go from there, because you are balanced and harmonious. So you don't have to see the entirety of the path. You just have to see the next step. So Mature Man actually came out as I was pre-shuffling, and I thought that was very interesting. So this may be, it actually feels more like a guide to me. There's an Egyptian feeling with that globe on the screen. It's got the globe on the screen. It's got Africa on there, but I'm getting a lot of Egyptian vibes. We've got child. Did somebody watch the movie The Mummy recently? We've got journey. Okay, so this is an interesting lesson. When you were a child, did your father go on some sort of trip, some sort of journey? He left in some sort of way. This may be very specific. It may not be a father. It could be a grandfather. It could be a church deacon. It could be a community leader, whoever this mature man is. We've got lovers, okay? And the plot thickens. This is why I like these cards, because they are very grounded and down to earth. And I want to be looking at the lesson of something very practical rather than the spiritual lesson. So, courtship. Okay. And on the back, we have false person. I was waiting for that to come out. Okay. So this goes back to your childhood, likely. If this doesn't resonate, I'm going to tell you straight up, it's not your pile. This is a very specific energy here. Now, the mature man can be someone who has that father archetypal energy within your life. The child is definitely you. This is definitely something from your youth, probably around the age of 4 or 5. And there would have been someone who left. He left in order to really start up some sort of romance with somebody else. Something like that can really, really mess with your head. And particularly in the case of this person that he left for was not a good person. I'm getting like a lot of like deception energy, a lot of me versus them energy. And that may have been something that you felt a lot in childhood. Like, I have to compete in order to be seen, be held, be loved, be nurtured. And because of that, that can create an imbalance within you in adulthood of, I can't take care of myself until I take care of everybody else. I'm not worthy of love until I give love to everybody else. It's this imbalanced give and take energy that leaves you feeling like no matter how far forward you push yourself, you still end up in the dark. And it can actually impact you in terms of how you interact with other people, how you interact with romance, how you interact with love, how your heart is able to accept and receive love. And especially on a romantic level, but also in communities, in friendships. All because someone in your past, when you were a child, really did. It's this kind of abandonment wound. It may not be a complete abandonment wound, but it's an abandonment wound in the sense of abandoning what was once the structure, the expectation, the awareness for the sake of someone who isn't true. And that can really, honestly, like for a child, that can really mess with their head, because now they aren't really sure. Like, is this true or is this not true? Is love possible or not? And I have actually watched a situation similar to this, not quite the same, but similar to this with my kids and their biological father, which explains why that story came through so strongly. Because this is likely one of those important lessons. It could have been a step parent that was really the false person in your life. And the mature man could actually be your mother. Because it's the archetypal energy. So I actually got like this wave of like stepfather vibes with the false person and mother vibes with the mature man. So I want you guys to understand that this goes in a multitude of ways. But if you go back to your childhood and you look, and especially with us working with the Shanti symbol, we are working with letting go of these things from the past. So this is the lesson here, is how the past can inform the present, how the past can actually hold you back from taking care of yourself, hold you back from moving forward, feeling as though if you move forward, you're moving forward in darkness and there is no light. You go from these bright, beautiful colors here off into the sunset and you find yourself in the darkness. And this is because you don't trust yourself enough to maintain that balance that you need in your life. And you don't trust yourself enough because you were bred or born or raised into an environment in which there was this fallacy of love, this fallacy of what being in love looks like, of what dedication and determination and courage and love and peace and harmony really looks like. When you have that false structure as a child, it can truly impact you moving forward in your life. It can make you become that classic runner in terms of, like, they talk about twin flames runners and chasers. You can become a classic runner, and not because it's a twin flame union, but because you're afraid. So let's find out what the blessing is within this lesson, because this lesson feels like it's been going on for much of your life. 3, 7, 10 years, or like that could be the age. I'm getting 7 years old really, really strongly with you guys. But it could have been 10 years old as well. And it doesn't have to be for it to fit. But if that story that I just told or that energy that I just read doesn't fit, I promise you guys, like, this is too specific for this to not be, or for this to be your pile. Please, please, please ask your guides to lead you. Okay. I don't know why I need to say that, but I trust when it comes through really strongly. All right. So let's find out the blessing. We have rapture, sensuality, love, devotion, romance, ecstasy, and pleasure. Look, you're literally going through this healing so that you can move forward from here. So you can embrace this truth of what love and sensuality actually looks like. Not in a way where you have to run away from it, or it needs to chase you, or you need to chase it, or you have to give to something first and foremost and not take care of yourself. It's amazing. We have emotional desert, inactivity, and isolation. This is ending. This is ending. As you heal your heart, you come out of the desert. And look, that it's even being shown here because it's got the oasis on the card itself. You're embracing this true nature of being healed and whole. This is a lot of sacral chakra energy healing. We have community. Do you see how these are tying together so beautifully? And then, oh my gosh, we have 5 to make equal, the equator. See, I told you this is all about finding that balance, finding that harmony, finding that equality. It's knowing that you get to give and receive love in balance and in harmony now. You understand what it's like to have a true blue community that loves and nurtures you. You understand what it's like to be accepted because you accept yourself, to be loved because you love yourself. The blessing in all of this is coming out of that state of feeling alone by embracing the truth of who you are and being fully fulfilled in yourself. You're not in the darkness anymore because you have balanced your light and your dark out beautifully. You have really come into this state of being both light and dark and divine masculine and divine feminine, and loving and lovable and giving and receiving. This is a beautiful, beautiful energy. Spirit, what else do we have? We have the Tower. How the Tower can be a blessing is that when the Tower strikes, look, the world, and look, we have lightning striking the Tower. When the Tower strikes and it signals the end of a cycle, it signals you getting to a full completion. That means that the healing that you've been doing, this journey of healing that you've been on, is successful. That means that you have the courage to move forward, even if you have a constant reminder, because you have successfully been able to shift your perspective. Look at this, the Sun. You have successfully been able to shift your perspective into a state of happiness. These are some heavy, heavy spiritual lessons. We've got the Empress. See, and this is why I said, for some of you, this was a mother figure. But the Empress to me is very sacral chakra energy. And there may be some who disagree, but it is very sacral chakra energy because she is all about creativity and fertility. And that is what the sacral chakra contains. And then we have the Page of Pentacles. It's about knowing, and the 10 of Pentacles on the back. And look, we've got this little child outside the door with the dog and everything, and these hands coming together. This is, again, there's so much of this light and dark joining together. This is all about you coming to this awareness of what it's like to love and nurture your inner child, what it's like to love and nurture and give to the small beginnings, knowing that it can be a small beginning. Giving to the moments that are right for you. The Tower is such a beautiful, beautiful blessing. It really is, because what it does is it takes you from the structured belief and perceptions that were there before of this need for imbalance, this need to give to others rather than giving to yourself, and it ends it. And you guys jump from the Tower directly to the World card, which means it ends it in a very, very definitive way. When you embrace this energy, when you embrace this lesson, when you embrace this truth within yourself, you're actually ending a complete cycle. You're ending it and you're stepping into this state of joy and happiness, fertility and abundance and divine mothering and nurturing and planting the seed of wonder and awe, knowing that it's going to grow, knowing that it's going to really explode into the world, just like you are. It's you nurturing this part of yourself that was not nurtured properly when you were a child, giving to it because you're ready to open your heart up to the energy and the essence of the community that will truly love you, truly be devoted to you and what you do because you love and are devoted to yourself. This is a very, very beautiful energy. And in all honesty, your message really, as deep and as profound as it is, was very cut and dry. Like, you have what you need. And you know this. You have gone through these massive spiritual lessons, and those come with massive blessings. We've got the Sun, the Empress. This is your ultimate happiness, your ultimate fulfillment, your true sovereignty coming forward. You knowing how loving and loved and lovable you are. Knowing that you're worthy of abundance, of success, of a happy life and a happy home, not because of anything that anyone has given to you, but because it is your birthright. It is who you are. So it doesn't matter where you came from. It matters only what you know you contain within you. And by birthright, I don't mean birthright by blood. I mean birthright by spirit. It is your birthright by spirit. And the Sun card actually shows that with the hands giving to the Sun. It is your birthright by spirit to live in abundance, to be successful, to be happy and joyful, to have a healed heart, and to share that love and that romance that you contain within yourself with the person of your choosing, with the person who is right for you, to live in a state of balance and equality for yourself and in your communities and in your life in general. It is part of your divine birthright. All right, pile 2. Wow, this is powerful. I am absolutely amazed. I am really excited to see what more you do moving forward. Remember, I am channeling Reiki during this. And as such, you can choose to accept the Reiki energy or not. It's up to you. But if you do choose to accept it, please make sure you ground after this reading and drink a lot of water. So I want to say thank you so much, Pile 2, for being here. I want to say thank you to your guides and my guides for facilitating the connection between our energies. I want to say thank you so much to Spirit. Spirit, you know, I sat here struggling to get this reading going, and I literally asked you to help me. And I remember just closing my eyes and feeling you enter into this space and through me. And I am always so in awe of how these messages come forth when we do this collaboratively. So thank you so much, Spirit. All right, Pile 2. If this resonated, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming readings. Down in the description box, you're going to find plenty of links. There's going to be links to my sister channel, Rising Sign Messages, to book a personal reading, to donate to my channel, and a link to my author page on Amazon so you can check out my books. Down in the comment section below, let me know how this resonated. I would love to get your feedback. All right, Pile 2, I love you all, and I will see you again at my next reading. Bye. Oh, hello, Pile 3. If you chose the third card, the healer card, as well as the symbol of hearth, this is your message all about the blessing within the lesson. So we're going to be doing this in kind of two parts. We're going to start off looking at the lesson with the Kipper cards and the oracle cards that I've already shuffled for them. And then we're going to move into tarot cards for the blessing, as well as the oracle cards underneath it. I am opening my Reiki channel to be able to channel healing energy throughout this reading for you guys, if you so choose. You don't have to, but that is an option for you. So, Pile 3, as it stands right now, I had to go to the doctor between piles 2 and 3. And this has happened before where I'll be like, okay, it's time for a grand adventure between this zodiac sign or this zodiac sign, or between piles or something like that. It always seems to happen in readings where there's some sort of perspective that I am meant to have that helps to help you guys understand what the message is. So sometimes it's something from further on in my past. Sometimes it's ridiculously present. Today it is ridiculously present. You guys chose the healer card. And in that way, here's the thing about this card. It comes with kind of a dualistic energy. Every time I touch into this energy, it's this, I want to be a healer, but I don't want to be a healer. I understand that because I'm a Reiki Grand Master, but I am not 100% convinced that I want to be a Reiki Master and do Reiki healings professionally beyond what I do with my tarot healing readings. And this is mostly because for a really long time in my spiritual journey in the beginning, I felt as though all the messages were constantly about Reiki and constantly about being a healer. And I came across I think it was a Pickacard. I want to say it was Jessica Alexandria from Bahati Life. And she said something that was, I swear to high heaven, it was literally my guide speaking through her, because they say this so often to me. They say this to me on mornings like this morning where I wake up and I'm not feeling the greatest. And I hear sometimes a healer needs a healer. Sometimes a healer needs to go and have a healing session or go and see a doctor because it's necessary. You guys chose the healer card with the hearth symbol. You chose the energy that is about healing the heart, healing in a space of love, and learning to love and exude that love into your life in every facet, every form it can possibly manifest. That's what this hearth symbol is all about. It is about love, the interconnected nature of each and every one of our heart chakras here in the world, in a spiritual realm, everywhere. It is the symbol that we would normally think about hearth and home and within oneself. It's 100% your center, your place within yourself, your home within yourself. It comes from a state of love. And sometimes we lose sight of that. We go through journeys and we go through shadow work and we take risks and we leap into the unknown and we experience the richness of this experience of life, but we forget that we're not superheroes in this life. We are human beings. And when we forget that, sometimes that requires a healer going to a healer. I have two very amazing doctors in my life because I have been dealing with medical issues from the time I turned 22 until right now. And when I opened up to spirituality, that got a lot better. I got a lot better. My physical health got a lot better and my mental health got tremendously better. It was one of those hummingbird moments where I literally defied odds. I broke all the boundaries of what normalcy should be and I healed. But that doesn't mean that it is an entirety thing, and it doesn't mean that it isn't part of my journey in this life to be learning lessons surrounding my physical body. Healers come in many, many forms. And this energy in particular is asking you to think about what kind of lessons you have learned surrounding love, the hearth, the home, our interconnected nature, and around healing. Being a healer, being someone who is in the world helping heal. Because what I see in the tarot community for many of the readers that I collaborate with and interact with and watch their videos and support and talk to you guys about often, one of the things that I see quite often is that they are healing in a very unique way. A voice can be healing. You can listen to a song. I listen to Enya, and every time I listen to Enya, I feel like I get transported to another dimension. And in this dimension, everything is mystical and magical, and everything feels more bright, or it feels brighter, it feels lighter, it feels like magic. I don't know another way to describe the way that Enya's music makes me feel personally. Beyond, it makes me feel like magic, like I am surrounded by it, encompassed with it. And that is something that comes from music. It is so deeply healing. We have to learn how to open our hearts in order to find that healing. And that is really strongly what the energy between the hearth and the healer is recognizing that even if you identify yourself as a healer in this life, no matter which area of life you are a healer in, you are healing. And sometimes you need that for yourself. Sometimes it's as simple as an everyday conversation with a friend. I texted Odessa today after everything that happened and with the reading that she did, after I saw the doctor and the reading that she put out today. And today is the 29th of November. So if you guys go back, it's actually her, I believe it's Healing Guidance from the Stars reading is the title. And it was absolutely spot on for what I'm going through right now. The magnitude of the accuracy of her reading, but she's reading tarot cards, she's reading oracle cards, she's healing. And after that, what I did was I texted her and talked to her about the situation that I'm in. And she asked me if I had talked to my guides, asked me if I had looked into the spiritual aspect of it. And in a big way, this is exactly the reason why it happens, is because I am called to come here and to relate to so many people. But a lot of the times, the ways that I relate to these readings is because I've been through a situation very similar to the energy I'm feeling. Now, I have to tell you guys, in all honesty, when I cleared out pile two's messages and got in touch with your energy, there was one overwhelm that I kept feeling, and that was anxiety and panic. And I'm not a licensed professional, so please don't use anything that I say as medical advice. But sometimes a healer needs a healer. And if you're feeling that, especially in your heart chakra, where it's almost like your heart chakra wants to open, but you're forcefully closing it over and over and over again, it creates this sense of inner and energetic tension and anxiety. And it's time to allow this to be harmonized within you. Your heart is asking for harmony. It's asking for healing. Sometimes the healer needs a healer. You have mastered so much in your life, pile 3. I can feel it. I can see it just energetically, what it felt before I sat down at this reading was like I was surrounded by pitch black. I felt like I was surrounded by pitch black. And as I came here to film this, it started lightening. I started seeing light. I started feeling calm, feeling grounded, feeling connected. I started feeling centered. I was moving through a representation for me from your guides of what you have just come out of. Now it's time to allow that heart space to heal. And so in order to heal completely, one of the things that I believe 100%, one of my personal truths is in order for complete healing to occur, you have to open your heart to it. And sometimes a healer needs a healer because you sometimes need help seeing the actual lesson that you were learning because the emotions are so caught up that it's like, well, what was the lesson? Because it feels like all the lessons that I've been learning are just magnified, amplified. There are so many of them. And that's understandable because some lessons really are that amplified. And this is what it feels like you have just been through. So this reading is meant to help you identify that one that makes you want to keep closing that heart space down. Because that heart space is part of the innocence and the purity of who you are in this life. And you can be really afraid to completely open it. But I feel like I just want to tell you, you don't need to fear. There is no need to fear anymore. And so this healing, this message is meant to help you understand what it's like to receive healing from another healer, because I too am a healer, but my energy resonates so deeply with yours. Your energy makes so much personal sense to me because it feels so similar to mine. So I had to go on a sojourn to really surrender to the situation that my body was going through and understand that in this life, I am meant to bridge the spiritual and the physical in different ways. You, pile 3, are meant to find where you're meant to bridge the spiritual into this world. I do it through readings, through healings, and I do it in a multitude of ways, but it feels a lot like the difference between the mind, the body, and the spirit, and helping people bridge these things together. Yours is going to be unique to yourself, but you are learning how to be that bridge, to embody that bridge in whatever way you're meant to embody it and to help heal. But that healing is meant to come directly from your heart. And that is a scary revelation. On this journey of life, it's a scary revelation to know, hey, my heart space is meant to help others heal, because that means you have to keep your heart space open. And if anybody has ever been on a human experience journey, we know that an open heart space can often lead to pain, to emotional pain, to spiritual and physical pain in a multitude of ways. So we're going to go into the more specified message of the lesson using the oracle cards and the Kipper cards, and then we will talk about the blessing. And the funny thing is, I just got a text from my husband, from David, about someone we're connected to being sick too. So this feels I wouldn't mention it if it didn't feel significant to this pile. Maybe some of you are genuinely healers in a very physical sense. And this could be Reiki healers. You could be therapists, counselors, psychologists. I just heard general practitioners. So you might be a general practitioner. I do know that I want to say there's at least one surgeon that watches my videos. If you're in this pile, I'm getting a lot of doctor, nurse vibes. So this may be something where that's the bridge. Give me just a moment, guys. All right, guys, I apologize for the interruptions. So I was talking about how I was feeling a lot of medical professions in here and how that could be your bridge. That could absolutely be your bridge. You are bridging the spiritual and the medical field. Now, that's an extremely specific example. So it doesn't have to be your situation if you resonate with the rest of the reading, but I'm just saying that energy is coming through. So let's take a look at the oracle cards for the lesson. So we have the breathing rose. Oh my gosh. I swear I do not look at these cards. We have heart healing, emotions, connection, and time eases. That's amazing. That's literally the hearth and the healer. This is amazing. And we have 14, family tree, expansion, and legacy. Miracles, ooh, double rainbow. And the card 9, power with volcanoes. You guys may have been drawn to another pile. I'm starting to feel like that other pile was perhaps a collective energy, just because it seems to be repeating. However, this is also a sign that we are deeply connected to each and every one of the other piles, or we're deeply connected to each other. And it's showing more and more in the collective. As we go through all these huge transitions and shifts collectively, we're actually seeing how we are ever more connected to each other. So this lesson is really about where you came from. And in all honesty, I'm literally hearing the power of miracles. And that also explains to me why I was getting a lot of medical field vibes, because, a lot of times in the medical field, you can be a professional in the medical field, like a doctor or a CNA or a nurse. And there are times where true medical miracles happen. And it really calls you to look at how you view yourself, how you view the divine, how you view the power of faith, the power of your heart, the power of what you have within you and what you are capable of. Is there someone here who is a heart surgeon, a cardiologist, or cardiovascular surgeon of some sort? Because I literally just saw the heart surgery room at our local hospital. I used to work at our local hospital in the OR, and they just showed me the heart. We call it the heart room because it's the one OR that is separate from the core of the other operating rooms. So they showed me that. So some of you may have a family history or a family legacy of heart issues as well. And this is on a physical sense. Again, I want to remind you guys, I'm not a medical professional, but this is something that I am picking up with that imagery coming into my clairvoyance. So this may have something to do with physical heart healing, as well as allowing for that emotional healing. So a physical to an emotional kind of bridge, that's a very powerful, powerful type of healer you are. Because when you can bridge physical healing and emotional healing, or physical healing and spiritual healing, or all of these combined, or just like whatever variation of them is the situation, when you have to learn hard truths, hard lessons along this journey surrounding this, it can be really hard to actually believe in miracles. So going through a lesson in which you're being asked and called to believe in the power of miracles in this life means that you are here to leave a legacy, even if it's not through children or anything like that. There's a multitude of ways that family comes into this world and into our lives. So this could be family in terms of your soul family in terms of your friendship group, whatever legacy it is that you are leaving behind here. It's meant to be a legacy that believes in the power of miracles. And in order for that to happen, you have to experience the opposite. You have to see how life breaks down, how our bodies break down, how our minds break down, how our emotions break down in every way, shape, and form possible. The heart in and of itself can break down. And when you watch that break in an emotional way, it can literally break the heart in a physical way. I have seen it happen with people where they cannot withstand the emotional pain they're in, and their bodies cave to this. You're a healer. You see these things. You are aware of these things. You would not have the Eye of Ra on this card if you were not capable of seeing the depths of healing that is possible within each and every one of us. And it is surrounding the area of the heart. Maybe the heart space, the lungs. You may be a breathwork practitioner, anything like that. But you're learning how to really understand that there is in the course of this life, the things that feel the most destructive carry the greatest miracles. And that is a true blue blessing, but it's also a really, really challenging lesson because you have to go through the destruction. Yeah, look, 19, coffin. You literally have to go through the worst case scenario. You have to go through the loss, through the grief, through the sadness, through the death, both metaphysically and physically, or metaphysically and metaphorically. You have to experience both polarities, both extremes. Let me see what it's like to have the power to overcome death, but let me also experience what it's like to die. Some of you may have had a near-death experience and have gone to that extreme, and you might actually be a walking miracle. We've got 27 with unexpected income, 36 with distant horizons. So this to me is so weird. Have any of you ever seen, whoa, okay. We just had a bunch of cards fly off. I'm not going to take most of them, but I am going to take the one that popped out. We've got 34 with occupation. One more. So have any of you guys ever seen the movie King Ralph? It's got John Candy in it and John Hurt in it. May he rest in peace. I literally cried when John Hurt died. I literally was in tears because I spent my entire childhood watching his movies. Like, it was so... There are some actors and actresses that, like, if I've spent any amount of time watching them and it's connected to my father, I will cry. And then we have pathway. And on the back, we have expectation. Okay. So the reason why I'm mentioning that is because when I looked at coffin, unexpected income, and distant horizons, it just kind of like that movie in and of itself just kind of came through. It's kind of like somebody died and then all of a sudden you find yourself in this state of, well, I just inherited a bunch of stuff, but I didn't know this person. So how am I supposed to do this? That's kind of an energy I'm getting. We have a lot of 9s on the board, but look, we have 34, 35, 36. That's pretty potent and powerful in and of itself. We've also got 27 and 28, and this happens a lot to my readings where we have progressive numbers. So if you are my progressive number pile, I'm going to have to like make a list of all the different, like, if this is you must be my quote unquote something or other pile. I have like my Reiki pile, which you guys would be my Reiki pile, arguably to my energy, what I'm feeling. You would definitely be my Reiki pile, but I've got like my Reiki pile. I've got like, you guys are my pile where I have to go on a grand adventure beforehand. And I would say that most of you were probably have one of your big 3, sun, moon, or rising in Sagittarius, because that's what this energy feels like a lot, especially with this blessing or the lesson. My gosh, I've been doing that this whole time. The lesson down here. So what this is showing me is that really the biggest lesson has been ongoing throughout your life, likely since you were a kid, anywhere from, the 14 and the 19 are really popping out to me. I know there's a 9 on the board and I wanted to say 5 years old, but it doesn't feel right to me. It actually feels like this is something that was learned in your teenage years. In those, and you know, the years 14 to 19, those are hazy years. Those, not hazing, though that might apply, but hazy years. Those are the years where your hormones are all over the place and everybody has an opinion about this, that, and the other thing, and everybody is this way or that way, and it's chaos and mayhem. I remember being a teenager myself, but I also have a daughter, Eliza, who is 14, going on 15, and all of the drama that there is in this age group. I remember it. So this may be something that you've been learning since that age or that age range, surrounding your family, surrounding your place within your family, surrounding how you fit in with your family, and realizing that maybe you don't completely fit in with your family, or maybe you do. And this is really about seeing the better side of things, seeing that you can take that leap of faith, even though it feels like you're leaving something behind. The lesson more than anything is about really trusting. It's trusting in yourself, trusting in your path, trusting in what you're here to do, trusting yourself as a healer when there are times where you feel like you need to heal, when there are times where you feel broken. There are times that these things happen because it helps us to better understand how to help others. I would not be the reader and the psychic that I am today without the amount of hardships that I have gone through and overcome in my life. I would not be here today doing readings like this if I didn't go through my own journey of having to heal my heart, having to believe in miracles, believe in the power of miracles, believe that destruction brings miracles in, because I wasn't taught that. And now I'm trying to leave this legacy behind. So it's an important lesson to learn, is that it's okay to venture outside of what is expected versus what is unexpected. Maybe some of you are thinking about leaving the profession that you're in, but your family has had you in here and you're wondering whether it's actually possible. Maybe some of you have literally left behind your family after a loss and moved distant shores away. I literally heard to distant shores. I'm getting like England vibes, but I think that's because of the King Ralph thing. But it's learning how to become your own person. You have to learn how to become your own person outside of the expectations of the ways in which you were raised and the experiences that you had. And that's a really hard lesson to learn. But the lesson here is really showing you that every time there's destruction or hardship, that there is still the possibility that you can overcome it and move forward on a pathway that truly feels miraculous. It feels miraculous to me. I almost want to say that, this whole reading was inspired by me channeling the lesson is the blessing. And in this case, with you guys especially, these cards really do confirm that, because when you are put into a position in which you're meant to heal your heart and start a new legacy, and one that is built based off of the power of miracles, even with the massive amount of destruction that I feel, the darkness that I feel you have been through, that in and of itself, that lesson at the very end, the blessing is just right there because of miracles. You're able to see the ways in which the divine works in this world, and it's really, really beautiful. So let's take a look at your oracle cards for what was the blessing. We have after the rain, silver lining, relief, hope, mercy, it's over, and acceptance. I love that. I actually saw this when I was pre-shuffling, and I wondered whether it would come up because this is such a beautiful energy. And again, we have rainbows. So you guys may be people who see a lot of rainbows, or rainbows may be significant to you for a specific reason. Particularly sundogs is the energy. I'm getting that energy, but we've got double rainbows on miracles and after the rain. So this is showing me and showing you that one of the biggest blessings is moving on, moving beyond this having to believe because you know that it's true. Moving on the destructive part and into the relief, into the hope, into the mercy, into the blessings. The silver lining is literally the blessings within any lesson. And so this is telling me point blank that you are the blessing, that you are the blessing. Your perspective is the blessing. Your gifts are the blessing. You being a healer is the blessing. Even though at times it doesn't feel like that, when you allow yourself to realize that sometimes a healer needs a healer and you go and you receive that, when you do that, you're showing yourself that you can receive. You can receive. It's not that risky. It leads to a rich, rich existence, a rich life, a life that is filled with experiences, with joy, with happiness, with love, with harmony. That's what happens after the rain. The rain washes it away. So you are at the other side of all of this destruction now. That's the blessing, is it's over. And you know it's over. And you can breathe and breathe this big sigh of relief. Look, 39, peaceful pursuits, happy times, relaxation. This is what I mean. You can breathe freely again. You can really feel that within your entire being. I am calm and free. I have relieved myself of this strain and this stress and this fear and this worry and other people's expectations. And I have moved into my own path, knowing that me doing this, leaving my own new legacy, is literally the power of miracles. Oh my God, you guys, we literally have relaxation twice. We literally have relaxation twice. I cannot emphasize enough that your biggest blessing is being able to breathe freely, being able to take a step back and allow for something better to come into your life, allow for a rebalancing. You really can relax. You really that feeling that I had when I talked to you guys in the beginning, that feeling I had, that anxious and panicky feeling. This is literally your biggest blessing, is that goes away. That goes away after the rain, after the destruction. When you accept everything that's happened and you accept yourself for who you are, you can literally relax. You don't have to be that go, go, go. I have to do this. I have to do that. You can just breathe a sigh of relief. You see that there is healing that needs to be done in the world, but you don't feel responsible to do it all. And that's a beautiful thing. And then we have 29 with creation and water. So this is telling me that you're going to be able to calm, to center, to ground, to get into your emotions, and to discover what it is that your heart is now calling you to create. It's like you're getting back to the very essence of true creation in this world, because you're allowing yourself to feel that relief. And this says after the rain, and then we've got water over here, and it's literally like the rains have washed it away, and then it has created a new body of water within you. So your body of water, your physical body, has changed for this. Yeah, look, this again, 10 of Swords. It's the ending of that swords cycle, that ending of being stuck in your head, being trapped. We've got the Hanged Man. And with the Hanged Man, it literally is that card of shifted perspectives. You shift your awareness and your perspectives in a beautiful way, and clarity comes. This is so, I'm so excited for you guys. We've got the Ace of Wands, that again, the Six of Cups. It's like, let me look into the distant horizon instead of at the past. I'm going to move forward into the horizon. I'm going to move into the setting sun, knowing that every moment that I move closer to that setting sun, I'm actually moving closer to daybreak. And it's knowing that there is value in what happened in the past. There's value in the pains, in the mist, and the mystery of why things happened, or the things that happened. There's a lot of beauty and inspiration that comes from all of those moments. And then finally, we have the Empress. That's a beautiful energy. And on the back is the Devil, because this is what you're overcoming. I love, love, love that. It's literally like you are learning how to stand in your own authenticity. You are learning how to be who you are meant to be. And it doesn't matter whether you had some sort of expectation placed upon your shoulders because of something that happened in the past. You're releasing that. And it may feel risky, or have felt very risky, but it's like you were ready. You just knew, I can't keep battling these same inner demons anymore. This cycle needs to end. And when you end this cycle, this 10 of Swords Devil cycle, when that ends, when that energy gets healed out and you literally allow yourself to pause, to take stock, to shift your perspective, and to see the miracle that is your life right here and right now. To see that you can actually really relax into what you do in this world, relax into it in a way that you couldn't in your past, knowing that every moment you have stepped forward towards the horizon, every moment that you have moved forward towards a better way of being, a better you, a better solution outside of other people's expectations and outside of any kind of extreme expectation you may have placed on yourself, you are stepping further and further into your own divine feminine energy, your own divine creative energy. Literally, the Empress and creation water right here speak the same message. They speak the exact same thing. They're literally saying, you have the power to create the life that you want to create. And you know that you can do it because you understand now, and perhaps you have for a while, but you understand that every hardship is a blessing. You guys are my pile that literally inspired this, because you're the ones who walk around this world knowing that the lesson is the blessing. And because of that, you are always able to mine it. But this is meant to give you that confirmation that those ties to the past, to your family's past, and this could have been in a multitude of ways. I don't think that it doesn't feel overly negative. It just feels like it was something that needed to happen. Like there was a part of you that woke up and was like, okay, I have to go my own direction. I can't be living by the expectations of these people because it's just tying me up in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. I can't do that. I need to heal. You've done that. You're in a phase now. This blessing is literally like you can breathe easier. You can receive. You can create. You can create from this state of receptivity. And that's a really beautiful state to be in. When I create from that state, it is usually when I'm like channeling here for these messages or when I am writing my books. Those are when I feel like I am steeped in the Empress energy. And that is me just surrendering to doing what I love and sharing it with others. So this is about you learning how to surrender all of these negative mindsets, the expectations of other people, and trusting in the path that you have chosen for yourself. That path that was distant horizons is now the Six of Cups. It is knowing that there is a beauty to the past, but that you are capable of moving into a new way of being. You're moving into the brightness of the day. You're moving towards the sun. You're moving towards your own divine feminine, like mastery in this life from the heart space and creating from there, healing from there. And that's really, really beautiful. That is an absolutely beautiful blessing. Pile 3, you amaze me. I say this so often to the people that I read for, and I mean it every time from like the deepest part of my heart and soul. You absolutely 100% amaze me. I want to say thank you so, so much for being here. This is all I am seeing for your lesson and your blessing. And I'm so honored to bring these messages to you guys. So I want to say thank you to your guides and my guides for facilitating the connection between our energies. And thank you so much, Spirit. Spirit, sometimes I wonder why all of the journey seems to be so chaotic. But when I come here and I sit down and I open myself to you and open myself to channeling your messages to the collective, I understand why. And every single time I feel blessed. And I am honored to be able to share that with the collective and with Pile 3. So thank you so much. All right, Pile 3, if this resonated, please hit that like button, share the video with your friends and family or on social media. I would love that. I'd appreciate it greatly. But don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming readings. Down in the description box, there are links to Rising Sign Messages, my sister channel, as well as to donate to my channel, book a personal reading, and my author page on Amazon. Be sure to check that stuff out. Let me know in the comment section below, and let other Pile 3s know in the comment section below that, you guys receive the message, that you are standing in your authenticity. Just know that I am proud of you, Pile 3. All right. I love you all, and I will see you at my next reading. Bye. You, Pile 3. Hello, Pile 4. If you chose the new moon and card 45 as well as the Halo stone, this is your message all about the blessing within the lesson. So I have two piles here, as you can see. We're going to be working with the Kipper cards for the lesson and then the tarot cards for the blessing. And there are oracle cards for each one, just to kind of give a little bit of the overall energy. But I wanted to talk a little bit about this new moon with the halo energy. So the halo, H-A-L-U symbol here is the second symbol in Karuniki or angelic Reiki. And you learn it directly after Zonar. And Zonar is Archangel Gabriel or Gabrielle. And it's about really deep cellular healing, DNA healing, illnesses, physical body. When we go to the Halo, we incorporate now Archangel Raphael. And I feel like that is something that is absolutely 100% significant for this pile in particular, because Archangel Raphael is the archangel of healing. And with this stone, it's healing of the material, the spiritual, and the physical all at the same time while having this added level of divine protection. And a lot of practitioners of Reiki actually use the halo symbol for psychic protection. New moons are all about beginnings, new starts. It's a kind of energetic reset energy that we get to go through every zodiac season. And so we're looking at a multitude of energies within these new moon energies, especially this year in particular, like the calendar year of 2022. The new moon energy this year has been stronger than any year prior for quite some time, because we had in a big portion of the world, we had 3 black moons in the spring. So like the beginning of 2022, we had a black moon that was the second one in the month of January. And then there was no new moon in the month of February. And this is just for specific places. Like a good portion of the world had this just because of the time zone difference. So some of the places in the world did not experience the second new moon in January. Where I live, I definitely did. Everywhere, I want to say everywhere west of me experienced it, and I live in Central Time. So we had those 2 new moons in January, and then there was no new moon at all in the month of February, which made February in its entirety a black moon month because there was no new moon. So pretty much whatever was done in February was like, we can do it over again. Because there was no new moon, it was just kind of playing with the energies. And then I want to say that we had it again in April, a double new moon month. And because of that, the new moon energies are very, very strong through the 2022 calendar year. But because those moon phases had a crossover in zodiac years, we're actually dealing with the aftermath of it the further into 2022's zodiac year we get. And we are now into Sagittarius season. So with the Sagittarius new moon, and this came through especially with you guys, I feel like there was a cleansing that happened with this pile in particular. And it's no irony here that I'm filming this on 11/29, and I have been talking to Ember Moon Tarot all day today because her and I live probably, I'd say, like 2,000-3,000 miles away from each other. If I had to put a guesstimate on the actual mileage in distance from where we are to each other in the world. And we both have been feeling the exact same energies today. Very heavy, very like blanketed energies. And I had confirmation from like my medical doctor about this energy too. This energy is kind of like an overarching collective energy, but the reason why I felt like I had to film this pile today has everything to do with that energy, because this energy is what we are collectively going through. and you're dealing with in your own personal life in figuring out a new beginning where you understand the level of divine protection you have, divine psychic protection. You understand that you are a psychic, that it's almost like this huge revelatory awareness came in. For some of you, that might have come in anytime between September of 2022 and to the present day when you're watching it. But for those who are watching this when this airs, because I'm definitely on TV right now, I guess. When this goes live on YouTube, for those of you who are doing that, I would say look at what has happened, what has transpired between the Virgo new moon and now. And the Virgo new moon may have been in August, but I think I'm fairly certain, I'm almost positive it was in September. I would almost bet on it, but not entirely bet on it, just because with this energy, my memory is not the greatest. But anytime from that Virgo new moon forward, you may have been feeling these psychic energies waking up within you. And I have to tell you guys, when psychic energies first woke up internally inside me, as an adult, I was not prepared at all. This was back in 2011. I had my Kundalini awakening and I was freaking terrified to the core of my being. I did not know what was going on. It was one of those like absolute shocking moments. I would call it equivalent to doing the polar bear plunge. And if you don't know what the polar bear plunge is it's like this dare that you do. But where I'm from, we do it in charity events. So you'll have like ice water, or you'll have an outdoor pool that will be filled in the middle of winter in North Dakota, which is outrageously dangerous to like jump into the water, but you do it anyway because it's for a good cause. But that's literally what it is. It's jumping into ice cold water. And, this is earning money for it, whatever, if you do it for a charity. But this energy feels a lot like the polar bear plunge. It feels like you're just plunged into this whole new experience, this whole new paradigm. And when you go into this new beginning, this new paradigm, much like a new moon, everything seems dark. Because the way that a new moon works, and sometimes we forget this, and that when we forget this, we can get lost in the darkness at times. So a new moon phase will be a phase in which it seems as though the night sky is dark, but the moon is still there. It's just that when the moon travels through the sky during a new moon phase, the moon is traveling through the sky at the same time as the sun. So that's why we don't have a moon that goes like in the night sky. We don't see the moon in the night sky because it's actually traveling during the day overhead. So for me, whenever I do any kind of like new moon rituals or making moon water or charging anything by a new moon energy, I will not focus on putting it outside at night. I focus on putting it outside the day of the new moon, because I know that that's when the moon is actually traveling through the skies and when the moon's energy is the most potent coming down to us. So we actually just had a new moon phase last week. I want to say it was on the 23rd, I believe. I believe it was, November 23rd, a new moon in Sagittarius. And because I'm picking up that Sagittarian energy, there's a lot that goes into this three-way healing. It is kind of like, I got the energy of I want to say time turner. It's not a time turner. It's definitely not a time turner, but I want to say time turner for some reason. Hourglass. See, and I touch it and I still feel time turner. So some of you may be Harry Potter fans, Hermione fans in particular. You may have a time turner because I'm actually seeing it in my head. But because that's coming through so strongly with the time turner, and if you think about the nature of an hourglass, when you flip it the other way, the time starts ticking down again. It's almost like a reset. With the time turner, the way that it works with the time turner, it's from Harry Potter, and Hermione uses it in the third book in The Prisoner of Azkaban. And she uses it to be able to go back and go to her classes when she has a full class schedule, because she took more than what what she could take, and they gave her this special exception because she's such a good student, but she ends up taking on too much. She goes back in time and she does classes at the same time that she's doing classes here and there, and it wears on her. It really like breaks her down during the course of the book. And this is about us realizing that we don't have to keep going back and going back and going back over all of these things in order to move forward and let them go. Now, because the time turner is coming out so strongly, this is really about asking you to see that you have the love, the support, and the protection to bring all of these pieces of your life into balance, into harmony together by choosing to utilize any kind of pressure you feel internally or externally to make a change for the better in your life, to open up and trust life, to open up to the extremes, to the blessings, to your intuition, to your gifts, opening up to your psychic gifts and allowing spirit to show you the ropes. It's kind of like, and please don't shoot the messenger on this one. Like, if you choose to take classes, by all means, I 100% support that, because I took plenty of classes. I took tarot classes. I took Reiki classes. I took mediumship classes. I took channeling classes. I took spiritual life coaching classes. I took regular life coaching classes. I've taken so many different courses and classes as I have opened up to this spiritual journey. And each one of them has given me something. But the biggest blessings that I've found on my journey have been in doing things with spirit, side by side with spirit, like this channel, walking side by side with spirit and bringing forth these messages in the way that feels natural to me, and the way that I utilize my gifts. That is how I know I'm on a protected divine path. And some of what I'm getting from you guys is kind of some trepidation, some fear, and that heavy pressure energy. And when we are being called to make a change, to change our perception, to change our views, to change our lives, sometimes we can fight it. And this, again, I go back to me talking to Ember Moon today, because that was something that her and I talked about, was how the energy was impacting us and how to navigate through heavy energy. And I felt the same kind of pull and call that she did, was just like closing my eyes and meditating for a little bit. And normally I don't feel that call because my guides know that I meditate differently. But I really felt the call to just be still and let visions come to me, let myself see, let myself understand. And through that, when I came out of it, I felt lighter. I drank a lot of water and I felt a lot lighter. And, her and I talked about this, and I love the fact that this is the energy that I'm sitting in as I'm channeling for you guys, because this tells me that you understand this energy to an extent. But sometimes we can get caught up in how it feels physically and forget that we have a spiritual aspect that we can take a look at. And to that, I want to give massive credence to Odessa, because she and I too were talking about this just today, about how that energy, or about how we can go through these spiritual lessons in a physical form, and about she was so wonderful about like giving me like a completely like common sense reality check. And I say common sense, but it's like a spiritual common sense, because she's like, have you talked to your guides about this? And it was a simplistic question in nature, but it carried so many layers to it, so much depth to it. When you are starting out, when you are having a new beginning, especially a new psychic beginning, spiritual, physical, mental, new beginnings in these areas, it can be really scary. It can be really hard to figure it out. And so me sitting here and going, well, that's just so simplistic in nature. It might not be simplistic to you at this moment. And so that's something I want to be really clear with you guys, because I feel like you guys are like newly awakened. It can feel as though this is like, oh, just common sense. That's why I reiterated it's spiritual common sense. So this is something that we have both learned along our journey, as we have guide teams. We have guides that we can rely on, and our guides are there to help us, to share with us, to show us the ropes, and to answer the questions of what we are learning throughout the journey of the things that we are doing. And as you move through this, you're going to understand more and more. moments in which things start feeling too heavy or things start weighing down on you, it's a call for you to get still and to come back to yourself, come back to spirit, come back to your understanding of your healing that you've done, the depths of the healing that you've done, and allow for a release to happen. And when you go through a new moon, even though we talk about new beginnings and setting intentions with new moons, they're also truly about release, because we release when we release the absolute best when we do shadow work, when we are in that darkness, when we allow ourselves to walk through the darkness of our own minds and souls and energies. We allow for these things to change who we are, how we see the world. They help open us up to living our life more fully. And that's what I feel really strongly to you, is that even though it might right now might feel a little heavy or scary or confusing, the more that you surrender to this and just allow certain things to be felt, to be seen, to be heard, and allow yourself to really connect to the spiritual realm and know that as you do this, you are literally protected. You call in Archangel Raphael and you ask for that protection. Archangel Raphael will respond because he has made himself known with your pile in particular. He will be there for you. It will help you navigate these choppy waters, is what I'm hearing. So we're going to take a look at using the Kipper cards at your blessings or your lessons first. I've been tripping on my words this whole reading. It's outrageous. All right, so let's take a look at the lesson. So we have release the petals, see transformation, death and rebirth, shedding, all change. Yeah, exactly. You're releasing certain things out of your consciousness, fear, guilt, shame, blame, but also like this awareness. You're coming into this awareness that you're the master of your destiny, that you're the master of this healing journey you're on. You are the master. Even if you feel like a newbie, even if you feel like a beginner, even if you are a beginner on this journey, you are truly the master because your soul has been doing this for lifetimes. Your soul has been walking through in a death and rebirth and reincarnation pattern for a very long time. And you're now moving through a time frame in which you're really shedding some massive things that have been holding you down. And when you go through this shedding process, it can feel dark. It can feel heavy. It can feel scary. But that is why there are angels, and especially the archangels, there to be called upon to help ease this transition, to help make it a much easier transition. And then we have the card 40, freedom, moving on and letting go. Exactly. Let's keep going. We have power. Again, you guys may have been called to another pile. I've been getting this throughout all of the piles. So I feel like we are energetically becoming ever more connected to one another. And it's a really beautiful thing to witness. And I'm witnessing it in bits and pieces throughout my readings over the course of the past couple of months. I am really seeing how much more we are connected. And it is such a beautiful thing. And then we have 30, bravery and oceans. If you are my subscriber who always gets courage and you're here, please don't be mad and don't shoot the messenger just because I used a different word than courage. Because bravery to me, I literally got hit with this wave of like, it's the same thing as courage. Yes, it is. And so if you intentionally avoided the courage pile, sorry. I'm sorry, guys. That was a very, very specific message, but I feel that same energy here and I absolutely love it. I love when this happens. It's such a beautiful thing. But as you shed these things, as you let things go, this is literally confirming to you. It may feel very cloudy. It may feel very chaotic. And that comes with having to go through a transformation. When you feel that pull, that call, that calling, that pull from the center of your being, from your intuition, from your guidance, from your guides, when you feel that intuitive knowingness that now is the time to go through a change. Now I need to let things go. I need to move on. I have to do this. You have to harness the deepest levels of power that you have within you. You have to understand that there is the might of the heavens on your side, even if it looks stormy, even if it looks overcast, even if it feels heavy. It it's showing you what you are capable of doing. So yeah, here we've got 16 with thoughts. 39, community. Okay. Are you breaking away from the way it's always been? Breaking away from the perceptions from wherever it was that you grew up? There's a lot of my childhood energy. We've got 14 with message of concern. Okay, yeah. 30 with adjudication. I'm not taking the adjudication as necessarily it's not necessarily exact in the physical. Okay, we've got 2 here. We have occupation and message. Okay. All right. So on the back, we have family room. That's what I was waiting or expecting was something relating to family. That's why there's this adjudication here. That's about balance. It's about harmonizing. It's about a fairness and equilibrium being returned. So you may have found yourself in a community, and community I use very lightly. This can be a group of friends. This can be an online platform. This can be within your actual like hometown. There's a multitude of ways that community comes in. It is a gathering of people together. You may have been thinking about being a part of a community or thinking about the community that you are a part of and feeling like I may not fit in here. I may not belong here. And throughout the process, whether you're the one that received a message of concern or sent a message of concern, I'm seeing it both ways, but more so receiving something of concern from your past. And it's asked you, it's something, and I'm seeing like a physical letter, like snail mail style, but I'm not feeling like it has anything to do with court. What I feel like this has to do with is some sort of feeling of an imbalance, of an injustice surrounding what you do. Because to me, this is telling me what the message of concern was. A message of concern having something to do with your occupation, something that you do, that you view as your work. Whether you are like me, like I view what I do here as my work. And granted, I, do paid readings, so it is my work. I don't think of it as an occupation simply because it's my passion. But you may have received a message from someone else saying that what you do isn't right or what, something along those lines, something that made you feel like it's not fair. And I'm here to tell you it wasn't fair. Like I can feel it. I can feel the imbalance. It feels like the scales were like this, and then you receive this message and the scales went like this, and somebody else benefited while you went skyrocketing elsewhere. And now you're trying to get your footing again is kind of how I'm feeling it. So the lesson here is literally like cut and dry, to tell you the truth. And this is why I'm using the Kipper cards, because they are so specific. It's outrageous. But cut and dry, the message here is that it was an entirely unfair situation because it's someone who doesn't know the truth of you and your situation completely. It's something that someone wrote out of fear, and it may have been tied to your family. Like this could have been a family friend. This could be a family acquaintance. I guess I'm getting like visions from like, I'd say the 1900s, the 1800s, 1900s, like Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman style, or like Little House on the Prairie style. Like I'm getting visions of like the family doctor who like is the doctor for everybody and goes and does house calls. There's an energy kind of like that. And granted, I grew up somewhere where we had a hospital in my hometown, so I don't know if they still have like country doctors like that, but that's kind of the energy that I'm getting. It could have been a message from a pastor, and now I'm being shown up like an equal oh my gosh, Spirit, can you please help me with this? I am seeing an experience that I have gone through that can be equatable for you or can be comparable for you. In which when I started my spiritual journey, I freaked out about the Puritans and how the Puritans And that faith was based in Salem during the Salem witch trials, and how the witch trials went. Like, essentially, I was like, how can Puritans really justify this when it goes against their doctrine, essentially? And I talked to my childhood pastor, and it was an experience that I needed to go through in order to be willing to go on my own journey and break away from my childhood and my family and the ways in which I was raised. It was a very unfair situation because it was very one-sided. But what I'm seeing here is the message 7 and 34, which reduces to a 7. Both of them together combined create the 14 when you add them together. So, and 14 reduced is 5. 5 is the number of change, of adventure, and 7 is the number of seeking and knowledge and wisdom and spirituality. So to me, we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3 7s on the board. We have 3 7s on the board, 2 3s, and a 5. So this is saying that this is about you learning new connections. 3 3s. I'm just looking at the Kipper card numbers. If I were to be looking elsewhere, I would say we have 4 3s, a 4, a 5, and 3 7s. I don't know why that matters. The 4, I almost feel like this 4 with freedom is like the foundation that you are building right now is based off of freedom, but it's based off of the freedom from this particular situation, this particular lesson. And this particular lesson is that you have a family in this world outside of the family you grew up in. You have a community out in this world outside of the community you grew up in. Your thoughts, your wisdom, your knowing, that is important in this world. And that will be a balancing point for you if you step firmly, bravely into your destined future. So for those of you that this resonates with, that you received a message from someone from your childhood or from your past, and it doesn't have to be like an official person. I'm just kind of picking up a lot of those energies. It just feels like something that really made you question your own growing faith. Look at this. We literally have the Justice card on the back of the deck. It's something that has really challenged your growing faith in yourself and in the path that you're on. Or it has challenged what you believed in prior to this moment. And it's a powerful moment, this moment in which you say, I'm going to let go and move forward. It's a powerful moment to allow for that transformation to occur, especially if it feels as though someone has come after you or come at you or anything like that. That's a scary feeling. That's a very scary feeling. But with the halo and the new moon, I feel like this is something that your guides are telling you above and beyond. The number one message here is that you are protected on your new journey. You are protected on this journey that you're going on, this transformation. So let's find out what the blessing is. We have the sacred union, beloved within, inner and outer relationships. You see, it's a unification of the self and loving the self. And that in and of itself starts being reflected in your outside world. Oh my gosh, 14 with family tree and another 14. And this goes to that message of concern. So it is a blessing. And it says expansion and legacy, but what I heard was expanding the legacy that you're leaving here in this world. That is changing based off of these inner and outer relationships. We have the card success. Wow, you guys. And then 43, another 7, alchemy and magic. You see, it's going to feel a lot like everything around you has suddenly turned to magic. The lesson here is knowing that when you alchemize certain things from the past and release it and understand that you're free to walk the path you're meant to walk on, because it's what your soul chose. And that does leave a new legacy. It leaves a soul legacy behind. And knowing that if you, like with this success card, I'm seeing like the jaguar, and the fact that the jaguar moves through the night, moves in the darkness, and it knows its way around. You're learning that you can really harmonize internally. This change that you're going through is learning how to love yourself in every way, shape, and form. Learning how to love and unify your life along the spiritual journey with spirit. We have the Lovers. Yeah, see, it's unifying the light and the dark, unifying the masculine and the feminine. The Lover's card is the card of decision, the card of choices. The choice that you're making, I'm feeling very strongly, is healing of your energies, healing of your entire being, and saying it doesn't matter what it was that came in, because that is only one side of things. And yes, it can feel unfair. And yes, it was unfair. Like that just keeps coming through. Yeah, you are justified in feeling that. Absolutely. But now it's time to let go of being like, oh, it was so unfair, and walk bravely into this new beginning. Walk bravely into loving yourself and being open to new connections. Now I get why this energy is here. We have the King of Pentacles. Yeah. It's knowing that you are capable of creating the abundant lifestyle that is right for you, creating a prosperous future. You guys may be entrepreneurs, or you may be fathers, or be a single parent. We have the Seven of Pentacles. Whatever it is, I'm feeling like you have chosen a path that requires a lot of nurturing, a lot of building, a lot of rebuilding. And that journey can be tiring. It can be long, but it is fruitful. It is beneficial. And it's like the path I'm on with building my business and building my tarot channel. It's stressful at times. It's exhausting at times, but overall, it is very, very fulfilling. And look, we have 6, 7, and 8, and we have the Strength card here. That's Leo energy. And so this is, and again, more sevens, a lot of seeking. The 6 is literally the number of sacred union, of that sacred union energy. It's that balancing, that harmonizing. So this is really showing me that you have done a lot of work to really harness what you contain within you. We've got the Knight of Cups. And this is because you want your passions to build into something solid foundationally. Foundationally, what I'm seeing here, and again, we have Justice on the back of the deck still. The blessing in this is, the truth of the fact is, when I say it was unfair for you, I am telling you the spiritual realm does not do unfairness. It does not do imbalance. I have seen this throughout working with astrology every single time. The universe will always rebalance the scales. It's not for us to do, even though there are times where we're afforded the opportunity to do it. We're not meant to go about our lives balancing the scales, being like, no, I'm gonna swing the sword of justice. That's not for us to do. That's for the divine to do. And the divine is saying, you are doing exactly what you're meant to by releasing this, by giving it up to spirit, giving these burdens, making the choice to say, you know what? I get that this was an unfair situation. I get that this hurt me. I get that this made me feel like I didn't have any power. I get that I had to go through a lot of cleansing and purification in order to step up and stand in my power and to move bravely through the world, knowing how much I've been knocked down. But the blessing here is that all of your relationships moving forward are going to be unified, harmonized, because you've learned how to love yourself first and foremost. You are establishing a brand new legacy of success, of magic, of mystical energies, of intuition and psychic gifts. You're changing the course of your family line through what you're doing right now. That is a huge point of success. That to me is saying you made the choice to walk away from the foundational structures of what came before and choose to build something of yourself by yourself and harness that strength, harness that creativity, because it's a passion of yours. And every moment that you have felt challenged for that passion, or that someone has come up against you, like with that message of concern has come up against you, those moments are for the divine to balance out. And with the Justice card here, and that being such a strong message coming through, trust that it will be. Trust that it will be in whatever way is right. We literally have 2 cards, 2 major arcana cards here that are blessings for you. This is harmonization of the masculine and feminine, harmonization of the shadow and the light attributes within yourself, so that you can move forward and build these beautiful harmonic relationships harmonic relationships with the people in your life. Spirit will bring them in. And if you don't believe me, I'm literally walking, talking, breathing proof of it, because I have been in the midst of healing friendship wounds and dealing with a lot of pain surrounding friendships for years. Because I didn't love myself enough to stand up for myself until last year during this time. And when I did that, yeah, a lot of friendships fell away. A lot of people I just stopped talking to because we didn't resonate anymore. There was messiness that needed to be cleaned up, but you know what? It got rebalanced. Everything that I felt like I lost at that time, I have gained back and then some already. And I know that that is how this gets rebalanced. So I put my trust in spirit. I put my trust in the universe. And I am here to tell you that when you make the choice to do that, because this is about the blessing. So I'm feeling very strongly that you made a choice to say, I don't want to continue engaging in this. I don't want this to continue to plague my thoughts, because it does. It impacts the way that you interact with your soul family, the way that you are open to your soul family. It impacts the way that if you have a family yourself, how you interact with them, because there's that added layer of, is this right? Is this okay? Am I just going to be set up for something again? This is giving you that reset, that protective reset, and letting you know that there is a balance that comes in, that you don't have to do this and you don't have to worry yourself and strain yourself and stress yourself. It's okay to trust what you're ready to build in this life, because your divine masculine is ready to surrender to passion. And your passions are ready to come in and be embodied and be fulfilled in this life. And it may be scary, it may be frightening to just stand in your power and say, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to traverse this world. I'm going to cross oceans and live bravely and alchemize these wounds and become something new, set a new legacy, plant new seeds, do something different this time. I'm going to do something different. And I trust that the universe has seen everything that has occurred and will ameliorate it for me. The universe will. Have faith in that, because that is one of my personal truths. The universe will always come and course correct us if we are off kilter. The universe will always course correct someone else who steps out of place and into your path. The universe will always right what needs to be righted in order for us to truly feel the joy and the blessings and the openness of this life that we're here to live. I truly believe that. So your blessing is quite literally the strength and the magic within you to find success through loving yourself. And I am really, truly honored, Pile 4, that your energy is here on my channel. So thank you very, very much for that. I want to say thank you to your guides and my guides for facilitating the connection between us. I want to say thank you so much to Spirit. Spirit, moving through this energy, getting ready for the energy, it wasn't necessarily the easiest thing, but I always trust when you pull me here to do these readings, and I trust the messages. And every step forward, trusting you has always brought other people more light. And I am truly honored and truly blessed to be able to do that. So thank you so much, Spirit. Thank you. Okay, Pile 4, if this resonated, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming readings. In the description box below, you will find links to my sister channel, Chemistry with Kismet Tarot, Rising Sign Messages, where we go through the moon phases based off of your rising sign, go through the generalized collective energy, and then a more specific energetic assessment and channeled message for you guys per moon phase. So those are 4 times per month. It's every week per month, just about. And there are also links to donate to my channel, to book a personal reading, and to my Amazon author page. So go check those out and let me know in the comment section below how this resonated, how you're doing. Be like, yeah, I give it up to Spirit. I give it up to the universe. You know, do the 2-hand emoji, something like that. Interact with other Pile 4s. Know that you're loved. Know that you're protected on this new beginning, this new journey of divine balance and harmony. I'm really proud of you, Pile 4. So thank you again, and I will see you at my next reading. Bye. In harmony.